Hi dear all, I am Monica de Leeuw from the Netherlands and I am in my atelier Inner Colors. And I am very delighted to be able to tell you a little bit about why I am in this container of the IAMCODE, a container of all sorts of intuitive artists all over the world. And that's really fascinating, and it is so important that we have this stage, that Justine created this stage, that we can share our art and tell you more about it. And I cannot do that in this little video, but you can see more about myself. I've started posting, just started, and made a big jump on my Facebook and my Instagram. And you can see how you can meet me there and see more of myself. But I'd like to give you a little peek in my studio right now. And in the meantime, I'll try to stay short about how I became, how I noticed that I am an intuitive painter. And right behind me, you see my joyful being. I'm very proud of that painting. It's so joyful and the energy is so fantastic. Well, I'll do the view right now. So now I will take you to my tour, to Atelier Inner Colors. And it all started, my painting, my ability to paint, 12 years ago when I took some painting lessons. And I wanted to paint this drop because I am really fascinated by water and the strength of water and the frequencies coming out of water. And my teacher noticed how easy I was with colors, that I knew exactly which colors to pick and how to combine them. I also painted this horse at that time. And then I broke my back and I could not paint very fine anymore because my hand trembles all the time. And I started to uncover my ability to paint intuitively. And for me, these two horses are not here anymore, but their communication at this moment, I took this picture myself, really still lives so very good for me. So this is the staircase up to Atelier Inner Colors. It's on the attic of a garage. I realized that 2 years ago, and I am so happy with this space. It is really my space. And the intuitive part of myself of painting really came out more and more, has been more inspired. So this is my joyful being, as I talked about. Here are my tubes I show when I have a calibration art for somebody. And you can learn about my calibration art on my Facebook page or my Instagram. I've already shared what I do and how I do and examples, so I will not go into that right now. This is also very much energy in that painting. And then this one is a very nice story. This aloe vera plant was not doing very well, and I thought some moment, I think I'll just put you away. You're not going to be able to live. And then I heard my guides, because I really work more with my guides, with my angels and many light workers around me, put this painting, I painted that about 4 years ago, next to the aloe vera plant, and it will get the energy of the new seeds that I painted at that time for myself, to open myself up more. And then the aloe vera plant started growing, and look how she's doing. Isn't that amazing? Isn't it magical? That is what colors do. They all have their own frequency. And I'm so happy to be able to live this way in Holland, probably for other parts of the world it's very small, but here in Holland I am really very lucky to be able to live like this. And we have the heather behind the woods over there, so that's also nice and spacey. I love the ocean, I love the moon, I love my new little dog looking into the world without seeing anything because she's blind, but she does react. And then over here is my dragon. This I painted because I wrote cosmic stories and dragon participate in my stories. I had never contacted dragons before, but they just showed up. And if you look at this way, a child really saw a dragon without me telling anything. Oh, that's a dragon. Yes, that's my dragon. And in this painting was during Christmas, I think 5 years ago, and really angels in it, and also water. There's so much depth in it. There's so much energy and inspiring energy coming out of it. Well, some other paintings, most paintings I gave away. And this is my little dog Fleur. I painted her 2 years ago. She died 2 years ago. I painted her 3 years ago. And this is an example of eyes. I so love to paint the eyes of animals and to get their energy out of the painting. And she is really doing that. And I love the background, is really intuitive. So now you have a quick view of my atelier in the colors. And if you want to reach out to me, please do. I love to communicate about the art or answer any questions you have. You can find it on atelierInTheColors.nl. I have a website and I have a Facebook page and I also have an Instagram page. So hope to meet you. Big hug. Bye bye.
Hello, my name is Natalie Villanueva, and I am an intuitive digital artist residing in 29 Palms, California. I moved here about 2 years ago from New York City. But it wasn't until a little less than a year ago that I really got into digital art, and out of curiosity decided to try and connect to higher vibrational beings within my collective consciousness, or as others would call star family, family of light, etc. So in this journey I'm learning or remembering how to connect others to one of the many aspects of themselves by connecting to their systems located in their physical form, in their etheric body, through the practice of meditation, which was inspired by reading about Buddhism. I started having visions of my very first being, which is this one. And I had no idea who this was, but I decided to draw them out, and it would eventually become my very first digital artwork. I come to understand these visions are my unique way of translating what are otherwise semi or non-physical energies. Once I had embraced this, I became more receptive to my grandmother and my brother, both who have passed away about 10 years ago. One of my favorite visions was of my grandmother reading her Bible while these two giant light beings surrounded her. So I would just keep doodling and sketching just like a kid would really do without judgment, as I would feel into these different, very supportive beings and collectives, whether I was happy, chilling, or even when I'm mad. It's around this time when it became apparent my grandmother was one of my guides. And being that I had serious issues with authority figures, she specifically assisted me in finding the mentor I would resonate the most, to assist me in unraveling the gifts of sight and hearing that my grandmother herself had. The intense cultural traumas her people have gone through collectively and individually, and when women were not equal, resulted in her being not just a hardcore Catholic, but the last family member to speak fluent Quechua, a language older than the Incan Empire. Even though she refrained from expressing her gifts fully in order to survive, she saw to it that I would not go down the same path. For this, I thank her. I really do believe that the earliest trigger was back when I was 8 years old and played Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask on my Nintendo 64. I don't remember much from my childhood, but this memory was definitely ingrained in me. It was a scene of these 4 giants showing up from the 4 corners of the earth to assist the hero in his journey to save the land from being destroyed by the cursed moon. Music was emphasized as a form of communication with them. I felt nothing but chills in that moment, and my imagination started running wild with questions about our existence and beyond it. Even though there are many terms for this, star beings, cosmic family, etc., they're basically consciousness existing in a higher dimensional field than ourselves. Now, please keep in mind that this is my perspective, my truth. It's not the truth, as I truly believe there is no such thing. Souls that inhabit the human form can forget that they are multidimensional beings, meaning they are existing as source consciousness, experiencing many different dimensions, consciousness, other consciousness, timelines, all in this moment, in the now. The human form is just one experience, just one aspect of your light, experiencing this one density out of many. My goal, or something I'm eager to do here, is to demystify what we call the galactic and angelic realms. That they are not so intimidating, have to be put so high on a pedestal, nor are they so far away from us as we are led to believe. These energies are not alien to us. They are just as powerful as we are just as powerful as them, and have never been separate from us. I would say that the most wow thing about these energies is that they are us. They are also our brothers and sisters. The ability we have to connect to all the information we cannot see that surrounds us is innate. How we feel called to express or portray them is unique. I envision that this ability becomes a daily part of our lives, a daily part of the lives of humankind, the way my peers and I decided our spirituality and self-expression become a part of ours. Practicing this innate ability is something that does not need to be feared, doesn't need to be rare or judged by us, just like we don't need to fear our self-expression, make it rare, or have it be judged by us. Now, just to be clear, there can be requisites to this, which I would highly recommend in taking the time to reflect, which is, how is your ability to discern things such as emotions and intentions? Do you think for yourself, or do you let yourself be swayed by others? How self-aware are you of your light, strengths, traumas, and behavior? How deeply connected are you to your body, to your heart? Every day is an invitation into getting closer to your empowerment, sovereignty, and freedom. And it's with this state of mind that even in your bad days, you will be able to connect through your heart to these energies that are set on guiding you to your highest potential here on earth. So that's the end of my talk here. If you guys have any questions or resonated with any of this and would like to reach out, feel free to use the contact info provided.
Hi everyone, my name is Katinka, and now is my turn to present my art. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm really honored to be part of this art show with my IAMCODE family and community. So as you can see, my main creative expressions are pottery, painting, and poetry. And so I will begin sharing a little bit about my pottery, because that was a big part of this year's project. I had a big pottery project in the beginning of the year, which was a fundraiser for the regenerative agriculture movement. So I decided to create around 50 sculptures with clay that I found nearby my home on the beach. and then I would fire the sculptures into the wood stove oven that we had in our home. So it was all very primitive, and all of the money was going to this organization called Farmers Footprints. And so that was the first part of the project, and then they ended up commissioning me to create over 100 candle holders, which is what you can see on the left. And that was just an incredible experience of understanding the possibilities of how I can take a passion of sustainability, of food sovereignty, of soil health, and how we can restore our ecosystems while cultivating healthy foods, how I could create a bridge with my art to really support this, find and create abundance and add abundance to this movement through my art, and to receive abundance as well. So that was a really important part of this year for me, to work on this project. And here are some key sentences about my art. I like to call my art spontaneous because that's what it feels like. I usually don't know what I'll be creating from moment to moment. I'm very much guided by my hands, my body, what feels good. It feels very instinctual, and you'll see that my art is also very close to nature and the elements, and it feels a bit primitive and ancient in some ways. And I do feel very passionate about sustainability, so I like to know that my art can be thrown out into nature and it won't release any toxicity, any plastic. It will just disintegrate or just become part of the landscape. And I like the challenge of not just going to the store and buying my supplies, but finding them anywhere, in my home, in the dumpster, in nature, in secondhand shops, which make it usually very cheap or free. And that's what I like to inspire in other people as well, to realize that we have so many materials available to us for free, or yeah, just around our home or environment that can be used to make art. And it might not always look like it's made to make art, but it can be made it can be used to make art. So I experiment a lot with my art as well, which you can see in my paintings. These are all made with natural pigments from nature. And this is a book that I'm currently working on, using recycled paper, fabric, clay, coffee, anything that I can find in my home. These are examples of, textures. I'm really looking for the feeling of nature, the elements, the texture. And here is an example of fabric that I found and used. Here's an example of some glue that I made the other day from flour and sugar. And this is what I've used to stick everything together for this book. And some leaves from the garden. I feel really playful when I do this as well. I'm a big fan of exploring nature, so being able to combine my art with another passion of mine, which is nature and understanding the world that we live in a playful way. These are some larger paintings. And when I paint also just pigments, this one actually has milk also from a cow from the local farm, fresh milk. And I'll be using my hands a lot when I create to I don't know, have the sensual experience of feeling the art being made. And I'll use knives to create texture in the paper. I like to be kind of rough with it. Another example. And some future project that I'm working on, which is more related to my spoken word poetry expression, is a collaboration with another IAMCODE artist, Natalie Villanueva. And we're working on a really epic spoken word collaboration where I make the poems and she makes the animations. So we're really excited to release that throughout next year. So stay tuned for that. And then I have a project to raise awareness on seeds and food sovereignty and how the seed industry works and all of that. That's a whole different and important topic that I feel really passionate about as well. And so if you want to follow my journey, you can go to my website, Katinka Lucas, where you can hear more about my previous projects, future projects, current projects, and the same on mostly Instagram and Facebook a little bit as well. Thank you so much for staying with me throughout this presentation, and I hope that you will enjoy my fellow IAMCODE artists.
Hi, this is Mo. Welcome to my studio. I'm going to show you the 16 pieces that I have prepared for today for the exposition. So welcome. So here we go. This is the first one I'm going to show you. This is my legend painting, I Am Light. The Earth Mother. I'll show you a mosaic I'm working on right now. It's going to be a mural, the Muse, water muse, with a whale, a turtle. So I'm going to show you the second part of my exposition. Water muse. This is one of the latest paintings I made this summer, 2021. This is the muse of creation and creativity. La bergère. The maiden. This is one of the latest ones. Muse of grounding. This is one of the rare pieces with a masculine muse. Protector of innocence. This is the huntress. This is the phoenix angel.
Hi there. Welcome to my Zen Den. This is my happy place. I start every day here. I come in where my altar, my candles, my crystals, all the things that give me good juju are here in this room. And I come here and I do some readings, I do journal writing, and I pull cards from the cards that I've been making. And it always helps me to set my intentions for the day. How do I want this day to go? What do I want to share with the world? and how I can also start my day with gratitude. I think it's important every single day to count your blessings, and I absolutely do that. And I also do something which I call my vows, which is my way to connect to spirit, so that I have those channels open, so it helps me to approach the day the way I want to, and tap into that inspiration in everything I do. So this is how spirit shows up in my artwork. This oracle card is about opening your channels to spirit. Love this card. And then, yes, I'm one of those people who believe in angels. This is that feeling of being held. This next one is on a similar vein, but it's the idea of maybe a heavenly portal, about going in there and feeling that spirit surrounding you. And the last is about the preciousness of your heart chakra. When you open your heart, magical things can happen. So here we are. We're at my favorite park. It's called Cascade Falls. And I go here pretty regularly to just get out in nature, to let go of any troubles that are on my mind, and to renew some energy. Put a little, what I call joy, back in my cup. So it's a little cold today. It's in the 20s, but it's still beautiful. Have a look. So I love it here, and I'm going to take you down to one of the falls in just a moment. So these are some cards influenced by nature. The first is the idea of being grounded. Absolutely, that's what nature does for me every time. The next is that feeling of pulling energy in and feeling centered when I'm in nature. The reminder, as you saw waterfalls, the reminder to purify yourself, to keep your channels open and keep things flowing. The next is Mother Gaia, the idea of regeneration, that we all have it within our power to regenerate our life. The next is there's a magic to be found in nature. There's choices to be made, and it's where I let my imagination flow. It also is a place where I achieve stillness, where I quiet my mind and quiet down. And also a feeling of being safe, to be surrounded, and in many ways in this process to step out on the stage and feel the support of the women around me in this course. Welcome to my art studio. Sometimes it's a guest room, but the majority of the time now I've carved out this space for where I can go to paint and to lose myself here. Maybe lose myself is the wrong word. In many ways, it's finding myself. I find that 3 hours can go by like that, and I've been in the flow, and I'm just painting and creating things, and they're just for me. They're for healing myself, and I think a lot of those themes are very universal, of what needs to be healed and what needs to be said to help other people in the world. That's what I want to share. I want to share my gifts in any way I can to help other people. So these have been some cards that have helped to guide me with my purpose. The first is remembering that you have wisdom to offer the world. The next is do it all with gratitude and share your gratitude out. And this is a fun reminder that in many ways it's flying without a net, but that's a beautiful feeling when you let go of control and go with it, so that you can ultimately achieve transformation. The idea of a butterfly taking flight is how I want to feel. And I want to get to a place of self-love. I work on that every day. I think a lot of people do. That's really important to achieve that. And also to remember to let go of the things that you're grasping onto Any pains you have in your life, let it go and put it in perspective so that you can go deeper in your exploration of where you want to go with your life. I believe when you look deeper and look at the darkness, you can often discover a deeper well of joy. And last, this is just my fun card to remind me, put some joy in everything you do.
Hi, my name is Rainey, and I am an intuitive artist and the author of Stories from Vonnewood Forest. It is my super great pleasure to introduce you to my beloved forest today. And I'm going to let you meet a couple of members of my team and share the first part of story number 1. So let's get started. Stories from Vonnewood Forest. Number 1, The Intruder. Once upon a time, a young lady named Tansy lived in the enchanting Vonnewood Forest. She loved living in her forest. Tansy loved the tall and majestic trees, the color-bursting flowers, and the magical vibe that made your eyelashes feel wiggly and happy. Her favorite part of Vonnewood, though, was going on long adventures. One auspicious day, she woke up to an extra beautiful morning, so she excitedly put on her special adventuring shoes and set off. Tansy went fripping down the lane, feeling very excited to be on a new adventure. She giggled to herself. Her mama told her she always loved skipping down the lane, but when she was very little, she couldn't say skipping just right. Instead, it came out fripping. And since that was a fun and silly thing to say, it stuck around. Well, after a little while of fripping, she came upon a lane she had never noticed before. It was small but very pretty, so she decided to adventure that way. Tansy made a wide turn down the lane and stopped dead in her tracks, because that's when she saw it. The house. The cutest house. The cutest house she had ever seen. She stood in the lane for a moment, awestruck by the cuteness of this house, but it wasn't just cute. It was colorful, but it didn't look like candy. It didn't look like it was hidden in the forest, but it appeared like the trees were giving it a big hug. Tansy could not understand how a house could look so perfect. I don't know what to do, she said to herself. I don't want to go fripping away yet. What do I do? What do I do? She thought. Oh, I know. I need to find out who lives here. I wonder if this house is as cute inside as it is outside. So Tansy ran straight to the front door. She did not fripp, because at that moment time was of the essence, and she looked for a doorbell. But there was no doorbell. A bell pull? No. A fancy wooden bird tail knocker? No. So Tansy knocked, just a regular knock, and she waited. Tansy knocked again, and she waited. Tansy knocked again, and she waited. But still no one answered the door. Oh, lollipop, she said quietly. I really wanted to find out how cute this house is on the inside. Though she doesn't know it yet, no one answers the door, because the inhabitants of this cute house are out for their morning constitutional. A mom, dad, and their son are at their favorite forest stream, finishing up their morning routines. The adults smile as they wrap their arms around each other for a quick bear hug. Arm in arm, they stroll toward their son, who's sitting on a tree stump reading a comic book. The grown-ups reach an inviting hand to him. Their son jumps up and smiles, but his face betrays a little sadness. The dad picks his boy up and tosses him into the air. The boy squeaks, dad laughs loudly, and mom moves in to tickle her boy's toes. Well, little does this happy family know, but at this exact moment, someone is standing on their front porch having some mischievous thoughts about their adorable home. Page got stuck. Back on the porch, Tansy had an idea. She thought it might be a bad idea, but what if the door's unlocked? What if she turned the knob and the door opened? Oh, Aunt Jess will be so mad at me. Tansy's aunt had just been promoted to the chief of the Forest Police Department. She'd spent the last decade as a detective, and she knew every code, rule, subsection, proviso, and stipulation in the laws of Vonnewood. Tansy put her hand on the doorknob, closed her eyes, turned her hand, click. The knob had turned. The door was open. She put one foot through the doorway when she had a serious realization. Is this breaking and entering? Maybe it'd be burglary. It's not thievery, right? Are those worse than trespassing? She had nearly scared herself out of the house when the door swung wide and she saw the home's interior. It was cheerful. It was beautiful. It was inviting. It was inspiring. All thoughts of her law-breaking classifications disappeared as Tansy stepped into the house. And that's where I will stop it for right now, but I'd like for you to meet a few of my team members who will be helping me with illustrating this upcoming new book. Thank you.
Transition!
Who are you?
My name is Elsa. I'm an artist, and I'm one of the illustrators for Rainy's Vonnewood Forest stories.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you too.
Hello, my name is Vivian, and I am one of the illustrators from Vonnewood Forest.
Thank you. I love you.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Dylan. I am an illustrator on my mother's books for stories from Vonnewood Forest.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, so I hope you enjoyed the story. I'm super excited to share with you that I'm going to be launching a Kickstarter this spring to get the story printed and hopefully begin the collection so that more and more people can come visit Vonnewood. I hope that you guys enjoyed this this introduction, and I hope you all want to come back to Vonnewood soon. It's been such a pleasure and an honor to be part of this. Thank you, ladies of the IAMCODE community. Thank you, Justine. Mwah. So much love to each of you, and I'm so honored and grateful to be here. Thank you so much, you guys. Hope you enjoyed. Bye. What do you think? Do you look adorable? Yeah.
Hello, beautiful ones. My name is Marla Lumina, and I am the creator and founder of Rainbow Mandala Love. You can find me online, Facebook and Instagram. I create personal light encoded sacred artwork for transformation, for healing, for activation, for illumination, to help you step into your highest life, your highest timeline, your highest and greatest potential, so you can be in alignment with your soul's calling, your soul's light, to help you shine your light brightly in the world around you. I am an illuminator. I've been doing this kind of work for lifetimes, and I want to share with you some of the exciting projects that I've been working on in 2021. I'm so grateful to be here as a part of this sacred ceremony celebration at the end of 2021 as a part of the IAMCODE. The first thing I want to share with you is the 7-day Initiatic journey, part of our IAMCODE. I was guided to create the rainbow mandala of chakras. And my artwork, it's intuitive, it's channeled, it's one of a kind, and they are all hand created, hand painted, or hand drawn. I create light language, sacred geometry, and the color rays. So you can see here, these are light language symbols. The light language symbols are meant to be felt and understood on a soul level, not analyzed, and understood with the mind. Light language is the language of the heart and soul, and it bypasses the logical mind. And it is something you feel, it's something you experience, it's something you're drawn to, it's something your soul understands. And having them in front of you is pretty powerful. In June of 2001, I gave myself a 30-day challenge to create 30 community collective light codes in 30 days, and I did it. So here are some of the examples, and they each have a meaning that I channel messages. I work with the Akashic records and I channel messages. You can see some of the language here. Each symbol is unique. Each symbol speaks to the person in a completely different way. You can connect with this artwork one day and have a completely different experience the next day, and it's always perfect. You can turn the images, you can print them out. If you have the digital version, you can turn them around, you can use them as screensavers on your phone so you can look at them, you can put them on your wall. So I absolutely love doing this. I've been working with a variety of mediums. These are made with colored pencils. I love using acrylic. I like to use watercolors. This year has just been about me playing and finding different levels of creation. I post them on my social media and you can follow me and say hi. I love to receive messages from people. So those are two big projects I did. In January, this one is just on my phone. I did the Golden Light Oracle. I asked for 44 volunteers and I connected with their energy via the Akashic records to bring through a sacred intention for 2021. This was back in January. So this is Golden Light Oracle, and they are so much fun to bring through and connect. And I am always so grateful to be connecting with people and for giving the blessing to be doing this. My huge project this year has been to create personalized light encoded sacred stones. And I've been using paint markers, especially Posca. They are amazing. I highly recommend you check them out. And I connect with people's energy. I get into a sacred space and I connect with their highest and greatest good and all of their guides and through the Akashic records. And I bring through a soul code for them for meditation, alignment, light, alchemy to help them. Mala, these are my mala stones. To help them bring harmony, peace, balance, prosperity, any intention you want. I was doing a series of family light codes. So each one is individual and then the family stones connect like a mandala. And they work in harmony to bring peace and harmony to the home. They're amazing. So I asked people to send me pictures. I like to see where they are in the world. I've shipped them all over the world. I had an amazing project I just finished working with Haidos. Haidos is a local, I'm originally from California. And I've been living in Turkey for 10 years. And I live in the south, in the turquoise coast. And I'm blessed to have these stones near my house. I always ask permission and a blessing. And I always ask who wants to come with me to create these stones? Who wants to go out in an adventure to be used? They are crystalline. They are light encoded. They are just like crystals. They are powerful transmitters of healing energy, intention, light, harmony, balance, peace. They work for your highest and greatest good. So I created a rainbow mandala of 100 stones for Haidos, and all of the money is donated to this animal sanctuary. It's a local sanctuary. They help rescue animals. And that is my deal with Mother Earth with the stones, because the stones are a gift from the earth, and they asked me to work specifically with the animals. So either I give them away as gifts or I donate them. They are so powerful. So I create these. I have three services, which are soul activation codes, personalized codes. I do Akashic records readings, and I do Reiki light language healing sessions. You can find me online. Please let me know if you have questions. I am so grateful to be here. Thank you for this opportunity for me to share my light with you. And please let me know if you have questions. I'd love to connect with you and hear from you. Bye for now.